Hello everyone, welcome to Uipath tutorials. In this session, we are going to learn about the autofill range activity. Let me switch to Excel and I will explain you how to use autofill feature in an Excel. First of all, we'll see what is autofill in an Excel. Autofill is a feature in Excel which allows you to enter a series of numbers or characters in a specified range. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain the scenario first in the Excel, and then I will show you how to work the same scenarios by using Uipath Studio. Okay, fine. If you see on my screen that I'm having, student name, class, and marks, right? Let's assume I want to add the roll numbers. How can we go ahead and do that? I will say roll number. Okay, now if you assume I'm having roll number 1 starting onwards, 1 and 2. Now, how can you go ahead and add or autofill by using these two things? So how can you go ahead and do for the remaining rows? You are just going to select the control and then you are going to drag and drop or just double click on that or else you will go and drag and drop so that what will happen? It will enter the roll numbers. So this is the feature of autofill feature. Okay, if you see I'm just going ahead and dragging or double click on that one. If you double click on that one, it will give by default by selecting the one, right? So that it will fill the normal values like 1 1 1. If I'm going to select control and drag and drop, then what will happen? It will add, it will increase by 1 and it will fill the remaining rows automatically. That is called autofill on the on the numbers. Now let assume I'm having the values like 10 and 20. Then I want to increase each and every row by 10. How can we go ahead and do that? I'm just going to selecting that and then I'm going to drag and drop. You can see over here 30, 40, 50 and 60. It is going to be increment by 10. This is called autofill. Okay, now we have seen on the integers. These two things are integers. Now the main thing is the formulas. How can we go ahead and do that on the formulas? Let us assume I'm having total marks. Total marks of the student. How can we go ahead and we will get the formula? Sum of from C2 to H2 that I'm going to sum and then I'm going to click on enter. Right now the total number of marks for the Amir is 544. Now the same formula has to implement for the remaining rows. How can we go ahead and do that? If you see, I'm just dragging and dropping over here and then automatically you can get the total number of marks of the each and every student. This is the way of auto filling for the formulas also. Now I will explain you some more feature on the month. Let's it will start from Jan, right? So if you see over here, I'm just clicking on double click. You can see after Jan, based on that Feb, March, April, May, June, and so on, it is going to be increasing the month. This is the IntelliSense or autofill it is having in the Excel. Let me explain you the dates in the same format. Dates, let us assume I'm having 1 11. I'm just giving an example 2020. Let assume I want to go ahead and do that, increasing the day by 1. You can see 11, 12, 13 and 14. These are all the days auto increment of the days. Now we have seen all the things, right? Now I will give you one more thing. Time, let assume I'm having 6 a.m. Okay, then 600 hours that we can say. Let double click on that. You can see increasing by 1, 7, 8, 9, 10 and so on. And after that you can see 12 p.m., 1 p.m. and so on. This is the way how we are going to use autofill feature in Excel. Now the same thing I'm going to use in the UiPath by using autofill range activity. Let me switch back to UiPath Studio. I'm going to add a new sequence by clicking on add sequence. I'm going to give the name as autofill range and click on create. As a first step, what we are going to do, we are going to drag and drop the activity of the Excel application scope onto the panel to open an Excel. Now let me browse the file and I'm selecting student marks. Okay, So now in this session, that what we are going to do, we are going to use autofill range. Where we can find this autofill range? Let me search autofill range. We can find it out under Excel processing. Under processing, we will find autofill range. Let's drag and drop this activity onto the panel. First of all, we will see the properties of the autofill range. If you see the common property, we are having display name to display the name as autofill, you can see over here. And first one, input. We'll see the destination later. And the input. First input is that sheet name. Sheet name, we are having sheet 1. And the source range. Source range is nothing but which one it has based on which two rows that it has to depend, and then it has to work on it, right? So I will show you that one also. That is the range. We'll give it the first two ranges that will start it, and the fill range that we have to give the fill range to fill the remaining rows from where to where it has to. Now let me switch back to Excel. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the row number. Okay, if you see, I'm going to give roll number as 1 and 2. Based on these two things, it will understand, okay, the next value is 3. Manually, we can understand. In the same way, Uipath also understands, okay, so based on these two rows that have to fill the remaining rows also. Okay, so this is the source and the remaining things are the destination. Okay, and I will tell you one more thing. While you are giving the source, you have to give the first two rows based on which thing IntelliSense it has to understand how to increase the values. Okay, and after that, the destination is nothing but you have to give again from the starting to end of the range. Now, if you see, the source is I2 and I3, right? And the destination is I2 to I20, right? This is the range you have to give it in the destination. Let me go back. The source I am going to give it as I2 to I2 to I3 is the source range. And the destination we have to give again from I2 because of it will fill again from I2 to the remaining rows of I20. If you're going to give starting from I4, it will give an error like that, the range fill range is not in the uh, exist or something, it will give an error. Okay, so okay, let me show you that error also right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start from I4. If you see I2 to I3 and then I4, I'm going to start it, right? Let me save it. Let me run the bot. You will get an error over here. So even if you're going to execute the entire thing, you have to know what kind of errors in real time that you are getting it, how to resolve them also. Now, if you see, I got an error, autofill range, autofill method of range class fail. This is nothing but you have to give the values starting from I2. Okay. Now I'm going to give the fill range over here to I2. And then let me go ahead, let me save it. Let me run the bot. The bot has been executed, starting executed, and you can see it has been filled up, right? Without any messages. You can see over here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Let me delete once again so that you will understand very easily. I will give one more message box over here to hold the values. Okay. Let me drag and drop the message box and I will give operation completed. Now let me run the bot once again. Now if you see, the message whatever the roll numbers has been filled successfully, it has been increased the value by 1. Okay, this is how you are going to be auto filling by using autofill range activity. Now I will show you one more feature to sum of the values on the formulas, how to work on the formulas. So now what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to total mass, I'm going to give it over here in the Excel, and then I'm going to define the formula over here. Right, if you see in the previous sessions we have seen how to fill. This is one of the different way how to calculate the number of marks in a different way by using autofill range activity. Now if you see the sum of the marks, how can we get it? I'm going to select sum of C2 to H2 and then I'm going to click on enter. So the first row I have defined, right? The sum of the marks, and the remaining also autofill has to work it out in the same way which I have selected, right? Now let me go ahead. Now what I'm going to do now, the if you see over here, after we have seen I over here, now we are going to calculate the j. Now just I'm going to give the values over here. The source is j2. I'm going to take it as a source as j2, and then what I'm going to do from j2 to j20, I need to use the autofill to fill the remaining marks. Okay, now if you see, let me run the bot. Now if you see, the total marks has been calculated, and by using the autofill range activity, it has been given all the marks over here successfully. Okay, I hope you understand how to use autofill range activity. Now I will give you some scenarios over here, you to work on it. Okay, let assume you have to give the date of joining over here, date of joining in school. Okay, how can you go ahead and fill this one? And also you want to calculate the days of the names that you have to fill it out. Days, how can you go ahead and fill them? Okay, now let me explain you again about the autofill. Autofill is a feature in Excel which allows you to enter a series of numbers or characters or formulas in a specific range. Thank you for watching Uipath tutorials. If you have any queries related to this concept, please post them in the comment section. I will see you in the next session. Till then, bye bye. Have a nice day.